Questions. We have tons of them. What if some of those questions can be answered with a simple email? Now is that time, and welcome to Chat with Charlie. Host Stephanie Lynn is a certified spiritual life coach and psychic medium. She will work together with Spirit to answer both your submitted and live questions. Not only will Stephanie be providing you with insight, but also interviews with amazing guests. Now, your host of Chat with Charlie, Stephanie Lynn.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for tuning into Chat with Charlie. I'm your host, Stephanie Lynn. I am really excited today, and I want to remind you guys and encourage you to drop your comments into the comment section. Let us know where you're watching from. I do have some emailed questions. Good morning, Pamela. Thank you for tuning in. We are going to be bringing in Terry Flick. He is the owner of Soul and Synergy and Metapara Pro. He is also a master Reiki teacher, healer, and hypnotherapist. So we're going to be kind of focusing on that self-healing. So please help me welcome Terry to the show.
Good morning.
Good morning, Terry. How are you?
Oh, I'm amazing.
Oh, good. I was so excited when you had agreed to come on because I feel like to a lot of people, this idea of Reiki and energy healing is kind of like a distant understanding, if that makes sense. They don't understand how this stuff works. And you're amazing. And so I thought, who better to reach out to people and kind of explain these things to them and how you work. But before we get into that, do you want to tell people a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Well, Terry Flick, we reside in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. That's where our brick and mortar store is. I am a Reiki Master Teacher. We do our classes every month here. We do level 1 and level 2 in the store. We have a big classroom in the back. Basically, I'm a teacher, and everything I do, I try to bring more benefit into people's lives. I try to help direct them. I am very spirit driven. I have a conversation every morning with Creator to see where I'm going to go, to see what I'm going to do today, to put my intentions out to the universe. It is a whole change. I'm going to tell you, the last 6 years that I've been doing this when I got attuned Reiki 1, when I took the class with Kathy Drinkman and became a level 1 practitioner, I was like, well, what the heck?
Right.
Everything feels so different. And I took level 2. I'm like, oh, this is mine. I got this. I'm going with this. I'm running with this. It feels so good. My heart starts feeling fuller and fuller. And I'm like, And then everything else in my life just opened up,
Yeah.
I met Danny. I met Danny prior to taking Reiki. I believe he was the reason I came this direction.
Right.
He was already in the metaphysical world, so to speak.
Okay.
He's took me to my first wellness fair and, all this great stuff, finding things like that. But so I really believe my purpose in life is community, teaching, helping people get to their better selves. All that stuff that when people start struggling, it's not, Reiki is energy work.
Yes.
Basically. But we also call it the how do I want to explain that? There's a word I'm looking for, the gateway. So, or the gateway to everything else that you want to do in your life. So I always highly recommend everybody gets at least Reiki 1 attuned. You don't have to go any further than that. It's just getting that energy connection and then working within yourself, allowing the energy to work within yourself to heal, to guide that greater connection with Creator, all those things that come into play when we feel lost.
Right. And I think, you made a great point when you had talked about, finding Reiki. And for me, it was kind of the same way. I went to my first metaphysical fair with a friend, and I was actually up in Ashland, which is why I'm really excited to be a part of your Ashland fair coming up in September, but we'll fill people in on all that stuff later.
Yeah.
But that was my first one. And there was a practitioner there doing Reiki. And I had entered a period of my life too, where I kind of didn't feel like I had purpose. I didn't feel like I had drive. And I just knew I wasn't myself. And so I was like, well, what's it going to hurt? What's it going to hurt to lay on this table? So I did a session, and and everybody laughs at me because they're like, you talk to spirit, and you know this about me. I am very skeptical. Like, even as I enter into my own things, I'm skeptical about what I'm going through. And I was laying on the table and I was so skeptical, and I stood up and I didn't feel any different. And I'm like, yep, this practitioner's crazy. I'm like, all right, whatever. This, people call it woo woo. And the next day though, life changing. Mm-hmm. I felt completely different. I found parts of me that I thought were gone. And I feel bad that I was so judgmental and so skeptical, because it was life changing. And I think anybody that's out there listening, from two people who approached it skeptically or didn't start out in this field, give it a try. What do you have? What do you have to lose from trying that?
Yeah. We all have this gift. I mean, you look at as a mother who's never been attuned to Reiki energy, but we still have the gift of healing.
Right.
When you get a scrape, what do? You put your hands on it.
Yeah.
When, you get any type of an injury that needs healing, a mother always puts her hands on it.
Absolutely.
So that's energy already flowing through you. Being attuned to Reiki just gives it that higher connection and brings it through even stronger. It
does. And, for me, and that was an article that I had read when I first looked at Reiki, and it was exactly that. When your child gets hurt, as a mom, you kiss it, you hold it, you make it feel better. Yeah. And it's all, like you said, it's all the same concept.
Yeah.
So we do have some questions coming in. I want to take a minute and say good morning to everybody that's popping in. Tim, Diana, Lisa, thank you guys so much for joining us. So the first question was actually emailed into me from Lisa. So I want to look at that one first, because I really appreciate her taking time to email that in. And she says, I currently am a QHHT, quantum healing hypnotherapy intern. She says, I enjoy Dolores's technique, but I am still looking for something to offer that isn't a 4 to 6 hour session. What, if anything, do you recommend, and where would I be able to find trainings?
Oh, that's easy. So Reiki, when we do a Reiki 1 level class, it is a day. We go from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. I teach history for the first level for 2 hours. You get some background. We have lunch. Then we do the attunements, and basically what the attunements are is just bringing in the Reiki symbols into the body or into the aura of the student, and attuning them to the energies so they can feel it better. And then we practice for 2 hours. Like, we work on each other. There's no walking away going, I just don't have this at all. If you don't have it, we work with you until you do have it, until you feel comfortable with it. So that is something I think everybody could offer, especially Lisa. No, I'm saying
yes, Lisa.
Lisa. Okay, especially for her, it will enhance doing QHHT.
Right.
So when you do Reiki and you're attuned to the energy, it's just like when I do hypnosis, which is basically what she's doing.
Yes.
I start my hypnosis therapy with a prayer to Creator to help me with and to bring in the energies, and they will give me things to suggest during the hypnosis therapy.
Right.
So, and doing Reiki sessions can be a half hour to an hour. I tend not
Absolutely.
to do half hours unless I'm doing a quick energy balance
Right.
and a quick message or something. I like hours because I get going and all of a sudden I look at my clock and it's 40 minutes. It's like,
Right.
it just doesn't matter. Just doesn't make sense for me to do a half hour anymore.
Absolutely.
So,
No, I agree.
yeah, taking a Reiki class is a really good thing.
When you do your hypnosis, do you usually just do like like if somebody wanted to come just for a hypnosis session, how long
Mhm.
do your hypnosis sessions usually run?
They're about an hour.
Okay.
I'd say it takes about 20 minutes to get you to where I need you to go, because we do a little talk, so I can get to know you better and where you're coming from. And I'm looking for the words that your subconscious needs to hear.
Yes.
And after I have all that, then I have you lay out on the table, so to speak, and then I start bringing you down into theta.
Okay. And
So,
that's where I think, and I'm glad you said that, because I know like Dolores worked in bringing people into that theta, into that
yeah,
deeper connection. And
yeah,
I feel like that is part of why her system or doing some of that quantum therapy takes so long, is because the deepness of where you're trying to get people to go.
yeah,
I know there are some other hypnosis techniques that only take people into the alpha subconscious, which is not as deep. It's a
right,
more present state.
yeah,
And I also think part of the length that Lisa could look at too is, how long are you doing your beginning interview? How long are you doing that actual hypnosis? And then your review, because I always review too. Like when I'm doing past life regressions, we review what came up and we
right,
talk about those things.
yeah,
So I think it's kind of interesting. I don't know, because I don't know a lot about how Dolores does it, but if there's tweaking, too, I tend to tweak my hypnotherapy to my clients.
mm-hmm, yep. And I have had a QHHT session,
Okay.
and it was 4.5 hours. I don't know. This guy was kind of new and he went by the book, so I don't
Okay.
know where the tweaking could be or whatever. But
Right.
yeah, that was a pretty interesting session. One little tidbit out of it. So at the end of it, he asks if they can talk to your higher self, and I say yes, and that's fine. And so he's asking the higher self all these questions, my higher
Right.
self, and at one of the last question he says, "Do you have anything you want to tell Terry?" And my higher self goes, "Why do you keep calling him Terry? That's not his name."
Oh.
And I'm going to tell you, because you are aware,
Yeah.
I came out of that hypnosis like, what the heck,
Yeah.
and
Very cool.
I couldn't get back in it to find out what my name was.
I was going to say, did you find out what
No,
your
I
name
didn't.
was? Oh,
But
that's so frustrating.
I'm a starseed, so I know I don't belong here.
Right.
I know I don't feel this. I know I'm here to do things, but I know
Right.
I didn't originate here. So
Right.
But,
And I think, and Lisa, I put up her comment. She says, I'm
oh.
a talker. My interviews definitely go long. And I know for me, living, and like, Terry, I live so remote in the North Woods that it's hard to find classes. I have had some success on Udemy.
Yeah.
So it's just udemy.com. Some classes are great, some not so great, but that's where I started with my past life regression therapy. So that's something you might want to look into also, Lisa, as another resource.
Okay.
So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And truthfully, I did a Lemurian Reiki on Udemy, and it was one of my best distant attunements that I've ever had. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
And Lisa says, thanks, Terry. My girls and I will be in Eau Claire on the 29th, and we'll be visiting the store. Hope to see you there.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, Lisa's fantastic. You will. I hope you are there, because she's just a fantastic person. So we have, and I apologize because it just says Facebook user, but they say sup brother-in-law. So I'm not sure who that is. There's no name there. All right, so we do have a question from Caprice Cox, And she says, can Reiki heal type 1 diabetes and cancer? If so, how do we help direct it to do this? And I do want to say, we're not medical practitioners. We are not. Okay, I believe that was from Kenneth Cox, popping that in.
Okay.
But, just so people know, I always like to tell people, especially if I'm treating them with Reiki, that it should be used in combination with their
Correct.
medical providers' recommendations.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So bringing Eastern and Western together.
Yes.
Yeah, because sometimes we need that Western to get ourselves motivating. Can it cure? So here's what Reiki does. Reiki brings, remembering that we are only the conduit for the energy.
Right.
I'm not doing the healing. I'm helping your body get balanced so it can heal itself. What I know it does do, it does help for sure with the diabetes, working in there to help getting the organs balanced out and allowing them to work better.
Right.
What else will happen during a Reiki session for these things is, what does Creator want you to do? What other maybe herbs could come through, or what other things that the messages could be to help you manage those things until you get to a point.
Right. And I think that's, a great concept. And maybe you can kind of explain a little bit, because I feel like when we talk about Reiki, and at least for me, before I really knew a lot about Reiki. Good morning, Christina. Thank you for tuning in. It was, people would talk about energy and, moving the energy or working with the energy. But that can be so obtuse because what is energy? What do we think of with that energy? And so how do you view that energy, or what does that mean to you when you're working with it?
So for me, it's a feeling. I can walk. I couldn't do this before. And maybe because I wasn't present enough to be able to tune into it, because I should have been. We all should be. I mean, I talk to people that, we work with stones. I'm a crystal healer also.
Right.
So when I'm working with stones and stuff, I can put a piece of quartz in each one of your hands, and you tell me you can't feel anything. So that tells me your body's out of balance.
Right.
So I'll have them put the stones down. I'll take their palms and I'll balance them out. And basically all I'm doing is shutting my eyes, connecting with the energy, and allowing it to flow through me into them, and watch it come up the shoulders, come in and bounce from the crown to the root.
Okay.
Then I put the stones back in their hand, and then they can start feeling the tingle.
Right.
If they're only feeling a tingle, then I lay my hands on top of theirs and I amplify the energy.
Okay.
So, does that make sense?
It does. And I think it's great because I like how you say how you do that, because to me, that really gives it a more concrete kind of, where the person can feel it, instead of, just saying, well, I'm moving this energy around in your body. That gives them something where they can actually see, oh, yeah, there is a difference.
Yeah. And during a session, I'll ask, now, can you feel this as it's coming down through? Because I can feel it going. I can feel my hands start tingling. My hands will heat up like to the point where my body starts sweating.
Right.
It gets so hot. And then, so if they tell me no, then I'll bring in the crystals and I'll start amplifying and stuff. Part of it is as a little convincer to help them understand that the energy is in the body and it is working. But I have watched limbs jump with the energy flowing through. I have watched, I was working on a pregnant mother, and she said, my baby doesn't move a lot, blah, blah, blah. And I laid my hands on her and we started working, and he was kicking her stomach up like 2 inches, so awesome. She could feel the energy go through him as well. So, yeah.
And I think that's a great point also, is as a Reiki practitioner, when we are working with people, there are changes that occur to us. And I know for me, one of the benefits of treating people with Reiki is I used to have so many hand issues. I would just have constant, carpal tunnel pain. I'd have cramping in my hand. Once I started working on other people with Reiki, I hardly ever have any hand issues. And I'm like, whoa, this is awesome. I don't have that constant pain.
Well, and they say, because when you give a healing, you get a healing.
Yes.
So, and for all you Reiki practitioners out there that believe that you're only supposed to be working on somebody else, you can't ask for one yourself, because I was amazed to hear this.
Yeah.
If you're not feeling well, connect in, lay your hands on yourself, ask Creator for a healing for yourself.
Absolutely.
Because you absolutely deserve it.
Yeah. I think even, myself as a psychic medium, a lot of practitioners, we feel like we are here to give. And so we feel like we're abusing our abilities to ask for that in return. So I'm glad that you bring that up.
Well, you have to be, if you're giving, you have to be able to give more.
Yes.
Excuse me. And if you can't heal yourself and work on your own self, how are you going to continue giving?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I want to encourage everybody, keep popping in your comments. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to continue talking with Terry. I'd like to talk a little bit about hypnotherapy and the benefits you see from that. And I want to let people know what you have going on with Soul and Synergy and Metpara Promotions too. So we'll see everybody back in just a minute.
Would you like to be a part of something new, something different? Host a show with WLTK-DB Talk Radio and dare to be different. We offer full production and live engineering of your show by a real person, not a pesky computer. Just visit WLTK-DB.com and click pricing to get started. It's not as much as you think, and a great way for you to get your message to the world. Better hurry. Slots fill up fast and you don't want to miss out on this excellent opportunity. Visit WLTK-DB.com and contact us for more information now. WLTK-DB Talk Radio. Paranormal talk is our business, and business is good. From its beginnings, Used was created to unleash the excellence of nature's healing powers and bring them to people everywhere. With almost 90 years in the market, they are considered a worldwide pioneer in complete herbal wellness therapy. All Swiss Used products are natural, essential oil-based, pleasant, and harmonious. They are extracted from plants and herbs with the latest technology to ensure the best results. Swiss Used Live Healthy with consultant Stephanie will guide you in the right direction to find the perfect essential products just for you. For example, have an upset tummy? Try our soothing chamomile that has not only been used by many, but trusted for years. Keep in mind, you just can't get these amazing oils at your local shopping center. They're just too special. For that, you need a connection. And that connection is Stephanie. Want some? Then head on over to Facebook and search Swiss Used Live Healthy. That's Swiss Used Live Healthy. And contact Stephanie today.
Welcome back, everybody. You are listening live to Chat with Charlie. It's 23 past the hour, and we have Terry Flick here with us. We were talking about Reiki. I did have a question from Lisa. So, Lisa, I'm going to put that link up on the screen for you for Udemy, where you can find some other classes. Mm-hmm. And we're going to jump in with Terry now and kind of talk about some hypnotherapy stuff, how you've seen it benefiting, how you use it to benefit your clients.
Yeah, it can be used in many aspects. Remembering I'm a clinical hypnotherapist.
Yes.
I'm not licensed to do trauma work and stuff like that. But even with what we do on a clinical level can help in trauma. Mm-hmm. But basically, I work a lot on smoking weight loss, habit stuff.
Weight loss, I'm in. I want a session tomorrow.
Yeah, I have to look. I think I do a 6-week program with that.
Okay.
It's an hour a week. It's a commitment.
Yeah.
And we do, each time we work on a different aspect. So per se, your mother said, you have to clean your plate before you leave the table.
Yes.
And you didn't like anything on the plate, but you did it anyways. So we work on those thought patterns and releasing that from the subconscious, because
Yeah.
it's not this body that's talking that, it's this
Right.
body.
Right.
So so we work on that, work on different things, different thoughts that have come through in your life that make you eat that dessert last and
Yes.
have to finish that big plate of food before you can get to the dessert, instead of just having the dessert and going on with your life. If
Yeah.
that makes sense at all.
It does. It does.
So,
and
yeah.
and that's, I think, a great aspect too, is working with that instilled mentality that we get, from society.
It
And
is.
and it's funny, I realized I had COVID and I didn't eat because I lost my sense of taste. But that made me realize I'm not eating because I'm hungry. I'm eating because I like the taste of the food.
Yeah.
And that's my biggest issue, is I like the taste. And so having those realizations, I think, are huge for people.
And having a plate of mashed potatoes with butter and gravy.
Yes.
Down to a bowl.
Right.
Things like that,
Yeah.
And food addiction is a big thing.
It is. Yes.
So if it comes to the point where I have somebody that now that's an addiction, then I have another person that I send them to that works on addictions.
Right.
But let's bring that back. Let's put them in Reiki now.
Yeah.
Because in Reiki, I work in addictions as well. Those I do work in addiction with the Reiki, with Reiki energy. We have symbols that we use with Reiki for addiction, things like that. So, and it works.
And that's, I like how you talk about the different symbols, because as I'm moving into different facets of what I do, when I first learned Reiki, it's your 3, sets, kind of, this is what you work in. But
Right.
there are so many other symbols that I'm just learning, like, oh, there's a symbol for that. Oh, I can pull that in. And I think that's really fascinating.
Well, here. So let me give this. Here's the thing. So when I open my prayers for a healing, I talk with Creator to help me have the best messages, the how making sure that everything works as way it's supposed to work. I also call in. I call in my dragons.
Yes.
I make an intention statement that anybody of white light and love, of this world or not, please come in and help us with these healing sessions. And I have went down through, and I've been working on, I was working on a person, whatever, and I opened my eyes, and in the corner I have a witch doctor. I'm like, oh, okay. Freaked me out a little bit, but okay, because that's what Creator wanted. That's who Creator brought in. That's what we're going to do. So the witch doctor would give me things to work on and into the body. That's what they're supposed to do. That's what, like a guide of whatever.
Right.
But anytime I see a symbol in my third eye, I put it on the patient or the client, so to speak, not the patient, but on the client, because that's the symbol that they're giving me that for some reason that client needs. Please don't limit yourself to anything. So we did a seance here 4 or 5 years ago with Christina Bloom. And one of my questions was to Dr. Yusui, and she was channeling him for me. And, we used to be, in the day when that was all brand new, it was a clinic, and you worked in the clinic for years before you were able to practice outside of the clinic. And there was all these big things. We are so blessed to be able to do it in 3 classes to be able to get to the point where they were then. So, and when we talked to Dr. Yusui, we're like, do I have to do the traditional hand placements for that whole hour? And he's like, no.
Right.
That was old. You guys have grown so far.
Right.
Ooh, I'm getting chills.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
So,
awesome.
things like that. So just go with what comes.
And I think that's a good perception to have too, because I feel like as individuals here on earth and within society, we really stick ourselves in slots.
We do.
And I have started looking at things like Reiki and learning different things, because same way when I first started, I'm like, oh man, if I don't do this and I don't do this, it's not going to work regardless of my intention.
Yeah.
And I have found, and within this group of beautiful people that I'm starting to connect with, it's, this is how the guide started. But if you look at even medical science, it evolves, it changes. So what you did in the 1800s is not what you do now. It's
Right.
based on the evolution of knowledge. And I think people have to be open and understanding that there is an evolution of knowledge, even within the metaphysical world, even within the spiritual world.
Yeah, absolutely. Everything evolves.
Yes.
And what we do is in Reiki evolves. It's, for the listeners that go to, so there's several levels of healing.
Right.
Remembering that when you go to a Reiki session, you're working on the body, the mind, spirit, whatever. That's what Reiki's about. It's about healing the body, balancing the energies, all that kind of stuff. So if you go to a practitioner that doesn't give you messages with the healings,
right,
it's not meaning you're not going to a good practitioner.
Right.
Tradition was, we didn't do that.
Yeah. You're right.
In the original, it was all about the handwork and healing the body. It wasn't about the extra messages that we get from Creator or whatever. So
correct. Yeah. And good morning, Michael. Good morning, Jackie. Thank you for tuning in. Yeah, when I first started Reiki too, I was surprised because it was that traditional, we don't give messages, we don't this. And I was getting so many. And I'm like, okay, this isn't going to work, because I would, some of the information would be coming in psychically, but other times I'd have communicators right here. And so what I started doing was using the information to help me work with my clients. But then, especially if I had a communicator, asking them, can you please come back with your message? I'll open up time after this. And then once I pull my client out of that deep relaxation, say, I have some messages. Can I give them to you?
Right.
And pull that back in.
Yeah.
So, Christina says, thanks, guys. She says, I have to go. I will listen to the replay. Have a great day.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah. It is. And, there's times when my clients, we could get going, and all of a sudden I realize that they've relaxed so much they're sleeping.
Yes.
So then we just continue the healing and doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And then whatever messages, we'll talk about at the end.
Right. Yeah. Right.
So
I do want to kind of switch gears a little bit, because I'm so excited about all the things you do and Danny do in the store and Met Para Pro. It's all, you have so much exciting stuff going on. So for everybody that doesn't know, I'm putting the link up for the Met Para Pro page. So please check that out. But do you want to tell people kind of what you're doing with Met Para Pro?
Okay. Yeah. So we started Meta Para Promotions, Metaphysical Paranormal Promotions, back in March. We decided that we wanted to kind of keep track of how our wellness fairs were doing outside of the regular business, things like that. It is evolving into a promotion company, not only for us, but for other people that are doing the same type of thing. So it's going to be a metaphysical, it's going to be a paranormal promotion company. Yes, we use it to promote our events from Soul and Synergy, but it's going to open up this fall into working for other people of in the same field, so to speak.
Right.
So it's going into another. So if you go to metaparapro.com, you can find all the events that we're promoting. So as far as wellness fairs, things like that. Eventually, the galleries with Diet that we promote,
Yes.
all the other stuff that we're promoting for other healers, psychics, mediums, and stuff will be on that page as well. So all of our flyers that come out will have, per se, Unfiltered with Diet, sponsored by,
Yes.
promoted
And speaking
by.
of that, she is there tomorrow.
Tomorrow night, yep.
Yes, for a gallery.
And anybody's coming, you can get your pre-sale tickets online at soulandsynergyec.com, and you can find her on the homepage. You just scroll down, her event is there. So
yeah. So and we'll all be there. Terry will be there, and Danny, I'll be down there. So we'll all be cheering on and irritating Miss Diet. So stop in and
the store will be open till 6 on Fridays. We'll come visit, come talk. You got more questions? On the soulandsynergyec.com page, that's where you'll find everything else that we're doing. So all the classes, if you want to learn tarot, if you want to learn how to do Reiki, my dragon magic class is next Monday night. And we're going to go through that class, and we're going to find your dragon. We're going to teach you how to work with your dragon and things like that. So that's going to be a cool one. But and then all the wellness fairs.
Yes.
So
and your wellness fairs are great. I mean, I've taken, just been to one. I'm coming to some coming up, but the energy level, like everybody is so welcoming and so kind, and I have to say, to people who are looking for that place, where you don't have to worry about judgment, where you're going to be welcomed, come to one of these fairs, check it out,
ask questions.
Yes.
You'll find me. I'll walk, and you can't figure out who you need to go to. We'll walk, we'll find you somebody.
Right.
My goal when I work these wellness fairs, or put these together, is to bring the community together. Help people find what they need. So I always suggest, if you're new to an event, never been to a wellness fair, you walk in and you take time and walk the whole thing.
Right.
See what draws you. See what you feel comfortable doing. Don't just go, I got to have a psychic reading, and sit down with that first one that you come to.
I agree.
Just find that right psychic, because Creator knows where you need to go.
And I think, a lot of us, and I know at least I have, depending where I'm sitting, sometimes when you're, by the door, people will come right into you, and you notice as a vendor who's been walking around, who's just walking in, and I'll tell them, I really want to give you a reading, but walk around first, make sure I'm the right fit. And usually I already know if they're going to come back or not. But a lot of us, we look at ourselves as being a resource, and we really want people to find who they need to talk to, who they need to visit with, to get what they need out of the day.
Right. Yes, exactly. And they are about finding the right healer.
Yes.
Getting the right message.
Yeah.
Finding the right crystals.
Yes.
All these things. So, if you find a crystal vendor, I mean, like me, I'm a crystal vendor too. Mm-hmm. We do events. We go do other people's events. Jessa up in the Northwoods, we go up and do her shows and stuff. But if you walk into my booth and and I watch you and I see you're kind of struggling a little bit, I'll have a conversation with you. I'll connect in with Creator. I'll tell you what crystals they say you need.
Right.
And I'll show you how to pick out crystals when you don't have somebody around.
Yeah. So, and I think it's great, because it's, and Lisa says, spend the day. She loves doing that. Spend the day, listen to the speakers. And I know for me, had I not gone to the first one that I went to in Ashland, I don't know that I know eventually Spirit would have gotten me on track with what I needed to be doing. But for me, there was so much fear. And so finding that community, and I was still a little hesitant, and I had gone with a friend to one in Hayward. And this was after I had started working with Diet and doing classes. And I went in and actually sat in. Kim Weaver was doing a gallery event. So I sat in. I sat in with Kim's, and the gentleman that I had went with, he has abilities, but he was like way deeper in hiding than I was, And so we're sitting in this gallery event, and I can feel, spirits lining up by me. And I'm like, nope, I'm not the one here. Like, I wasn't even telling people this is what I did.
Right.
And all of a sudden she stops giving messages. And she goes, I'm sorry, I have to stop. She goes, I don't usually talk to guides, but somebody's guide is here. They are very persistent. And she goes, I have 2 mediums in the crowd. And I went, mother, and I'm like, you guys, shut up, and I sat there and I pulled into myself, and she goes, where are you? I cannot continue. And I'm like, so I kind of raised my hand. She goes, okay, you're one. Where's the other one? I'm like, pointing to my friend next to me. And it was so funny, but I was really ignoring my spirit guides to the point where she's like, you should be up here. You need to be doing this.
Yeah.
And good morning, Annie. And I was like, I was so embarrassed because I was sitting in a room of 40 people, and she looks at everybody. She goes, go find that lady. That's who you should be talking to. And I'm like, no, don't find me. But it's interesting.
Question.
Oh, Lord.
So how comfortable would you feel doing that?
Funny you should mention that. I think I'm ready. Miss Diet and I have talked. She's doing a platform class, and her and I are going to be working to get me more ready and to do some practice.
Yep.
But I think I'm scared, but I'm open. Does that make sense?
Cool.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Ashland.
Yeah. I kind of figured that's where this meeting was headed tomorrow.
It kind of is, but it also, the meeting tomorrow is talking about the MetaPair Pro for you guys as well.
Okay, perfect.
So Ashland is over Labor Day weekend.
Yes.
It is going to be an amazing event. We're doing a 2-day event up there at the American.
Yes.
I have 12 speakers. These speakers are all free. 6 on Saturday.
People, if you're looking for resources, free resources, this is what you need. Write it down, put it on your calendar.
Yep. So it's an entry fee to get in, but then after you're in, everything is free. So let's talk about Saturday night. Yes. Saturday night, we're doing a 3-medium gallery. So it's going to be at 7:00 Saturday night. You don't get to. So I have 2 of my mediums already set up. We're waiting for the 3rd one to come in to connect with the other 2. So we have Diet and we have Charlie. And then we're going to bring a 3rd one in. So if you want to see Charlie in action, it will be her first big debut. So
Charlie,
she's just getting told this.
Yeah.
So so we're gonna have.
You guys could see the sweat pouring off of me right now. I love it because as you're talking, I have the comments coming through of support. So I do appreciate that.
Yeah, and it is good. So here's what Creator does. I mean, you have every option to back out on me.
I wouldn't.
Right. But here's what Creator does, right? Creator says, push her. Creator says, put it in front of her. Let her do it. All morning I've been going, do I bring this up in the show or don't I bring this up in the show? And it's like, oh no, you're going to bring this up in the show. You don't get options. So.
Well, and I had Michael Christopher. Yes, Charlie, who are you? I know. I'm just trying to figure that out, Michael. I don't know. I know she's crazy. That's all I know.
Yeah, right.
I actually reached out to Diet after you're like, hey, we have to have a meeting. And I'm like, Diet, I know Terry's up to something. She's like, it's okay. It's fine.
Yeah.
So no, I am ready. I'm excited. I feel like I'm starting to get pushed and pivoted into different things. Thank you, Diana. I appreciate this. So I'm ready and I'm excited and honored that you would think of me. But besides the mediums, we're also doing a paranormal investigation, right?
Yeah, we're working on getting that set up. That'll be after the gallery.
It's going to be a busy weekend.
It is. I try, and I know I do this. I know I go overboard sometimes. I get that. But my goal is to get as much in one location, as much information, as much activity as we can do for that community. So this, my events, we've taken a turn, are now labeled that community. So we're coming to Ashland, Wisconsin, for Ashland, Wisconsin, and that community surrounding. So Ashland, Duluth, Superior, Park Falls, all that whole community. And we decided that, sorry, when it feels good, I get chills.
I know.
So if you're in that community and you want to be a vendor and you want to get your name out, please reach out to us.
Yes.
I don't jack the prices up for vendor fees just because we're doing something spectacular in your area. You can email me at soulandsynergy@gmail.com, or call me, or whatever the case may be. I don't care. The store phone number is 715-589-7002. So
and I want to throw in there too, if anybody up in the Ashland area, we are looking for those venues for the paranormal investigation. So if you have tips on somewhere that's haunted, anything like that, reach out to Terry, reach out to me. I can get him the information. But
yeah, absolutely. And if you're an investigator and you want to be part of the event on that weekend, reach out, let us know. Because this isn't about just the healers. This is a paranormal weekend as well.
Right.
So, people that are curious.
He just woke up.
Oh, nice. Curious about paranormal, and if maybe Barnaby will join us and we can talk more about Bigfoot and what he does on his end and stuff,
that would be fantastic.
Yeah.
So we're going to take a quick break.
Okay.
When we come back, we will kind of go over what's coming up with the Chat with Charlie show, what's coming up with the network, and then Terry is going to do the intuitive card pulls for you guys. So we'll be back in just a few minutes.
Okay.
The unexplained. It's all around us and usually supplies more questions than answers. You need answers. You need Cross Country Paranormal. Founded by Benjamin Young, CCP seeks to train, educate, and mentor anyone that has a passion for the paranormal. CCP is building a network of teams and investigations across the country, and all experience levels are welcome. Learn more about CCP on their website, ccpinvestigations.com, where you can find frequently asked questions, check out their equipment, follow their latest events, and of course, shop. Visit them now at ccpinvestigations.com. That's ccpinvestigations.com. Cross Country Paranormal. All are welcome. All are family.
Welcome back, everybody. It is about 50 past the hour, and Terry was here today joining us talking about Soul and Synergy, Metapara Pro. We were talking some Reiki, energy healing, hypnosis. So if you're just tuning in, please jump back, watch the replay of the show. A lot of great information. I have been trying to drop links in for everybody of where you can find Terry, where events are coming up, things like that. So check out those resources. So a little bit about what's coming up with the network. We do have, and I popped it in there, a new group. So if you don't want to miss out on what's going on with the network, pop in there, join the group. You'll have the live feeds. You'll have access to all kinds of things. Today, coming up on the show, Realm of Darkness with Renee and Ashley at 7, The Afterlife Chronicles with Nicole Strickland at 8, and Voices of the Dead with Kenneth Drake tonight at 9. If you want the rest of the week's schedule, I also popped that link in for you guys, so you can check that out. Please do. Please support the other shows. There is shows for everybody. If you don't like the reading shows, if you think the psychics are crazy, check out Monday Morning Monsters, check out the Afterlife Chronicles, Realm of Darkness, conspiracy theories. It's all there. Everything's there. There's something for everybody. So, Terry, before we kind of jump into the card pull, so everybody kind of start thinking about what you're looking for guidance on, what, I guess, do you look at as motivation, or what would you give as a last piece of advice to people who might be looking into some of these other modalities and trying them out?
Find what draws you.
Yeah.
If you're feeling lost, you don't understand where you're supposed to be going, maybe, finding somebody that can help you on your journey, somebody that can tune into you a little bit and feel your energies and feel what feels good for you. Once a month or twice a month, we do a group here that it's just, and I label it, Are You Lost? And come and talk. And we just make a big round circle in the classroom back there, and we talk about experiences and what we feel. And, the interaction between different people is amazing.
Yes.
I get talking. The last one I started talking and my throat went, I'm like, okay, this is for you guys because I can't talk anymore. So Creator will shut me down by making my throat thick, so to speak. And this guy over here started telling this woman over here, and it was just an amazing message that came through. Oh, by the way, he's not psychic, he says. So,
right.
One of those things, right? So, Creator goes, and Creator will bring to you what you allow them to bring to you.
Absolutely.
So I think, and that's one of the biggest things. It's just allowing.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Being open to receive.
Yeah. Being present, allow, getting out of your own head, getting out of your own way, so to speak. We didn't create this business by, it has to be. I didn't take out no major loans to do this.
Right.
Creator guided me all the way through because that was the deal. Right. I'm not going broke to create a business.
Yeah.
So
and manifesting and being open to those things. I love that. And I have had some people popping in, mentioning distance. And I know that's an issue for me. And with your classes, do you ever do any of your classes online? Have you considered starting to offer them via Zoom?
Yes. That has been like every day. Creators going, get it going. And I'm like, I don't have the resource. I don't have it figured out yet. But yes, in August, we'll start teaching online.
Perfect, because I really want to take that dragon class.
Oh, yeah. Well, so some of my classes have to have, what I would have to do is send you a box.
Yeah.
Because you get things in my classes. So I believe whatever we do, you need a representation of what I'm working with. So if you're going to do an online class, like the dragon class comes with a couple little things. So I would mail those up to you. So we would have to have people registered a week ahead of time type of thing. So I can get you all the stuff.
And Jackie and Ann they just both popped in, not to cut you off, but they just both popped in. They're like, same. So they'd be interested in classes too.
Yeah, we'll play with it. And then Reiki, I don't do traditional attunements. I find part of the attunement I was very uncomfortable with, and I shouldn't say I never felt like it was happening. I just wasn't very comfortable. So I had this conversation with Creator, and then I had my first long distance attunement. So my attunements are all done hands off.
Right. And mine are also, and I find within the community, there's some people who I don't want to say I do want to say have shamed me, because they're like, well, you're not actually attuned. Well, bullshit. Yes, I am.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I have felt her energy. She is attuned, by the way.
So it's interesting. And I love this. Before we go to the card pull, Pamela Lynn says, I just learned the phrase asking myself, am I aware?
Am I aware?
Yeah.
Yeah. Checking in.
Yes, that's huge.
One of the biggest things I think in some, well, I shouldn't say, but I always tell people, put your right hand on your heart.
Yeah.
Ask yourself, am I safe?
Mm-hmm.
Is this the right thing I need to be doing? Wherever you're at, ask yourself. Connect in with the higher self. They will tell you.
Yes.
You know.
And I've recently learned in that, am I aware, the sway test. And I don't know if you've heard of the sway test, but using your body, and asking your body, okay, what is my recognition for yes? What is my recognition for no? And it's like, okay, I really want this Twinkie. Is this Twinkie good for me? No. Am I going to eat it anyway? Yes. But using that as a way to check in, and that's just a funny example, but being self-aware, moving into that presence.
With you saying that, I think I want to tell people, however it works for you, if you're doing the sway test, if you're doing the muscle testing, if you're using the pendulum, whatever works for you, it all comes from the same person. Absolutely. It all comes from the higher source.
Yeah.
However it works. So it's not like I have to do it this way or I have to do it that way or whatever. The messages all come from above. So
it does. And, I find that some people are very, nope, but you're right. Again, you're growing into the knowledge. The knowledge is ever evolving.
Well, and how do you think, when you throw bones and when you read runes and you read tarot and you read oracle, you do Reiki sessions, teacup readings, whatever the case, the messages have to get there.
Yes.
And they all come from source.
Yes. And I found that consistently in people that might sit down for readings with me, and where they may have seen several readers, but there's a theme. It might not be the exact message, but there's a theme. So how are we all getting the theme?
Yes.
So on that note, Terry, I invite you to pull some cards.
How many are we going to pull?
What do you feel?
Well, I have pulled, while we were on our last break, I set the intention and I pulled one.
Okay.
I work from the Celtic dragon, of course.
Oh, very nice.
It's not one that I go to a lot, but I thought dragons is my thing. So that's the one I would use today. And it is a tarot deck. Not that I'm, that's Danny's thing. He does the tarot. Yes. So,
and he will be on in a couple episodes. He will be on doing tarot readings for everybody. So viewers watch for that. You'll love Danny.
Yeah. And he also, he also offers tarot classes here at the store as well. So he teaches that if you're ever interested in, he does this is a beginner's tarot. And then he does an 8-week course to get you from opening up that box to reading tarot in front of people at a wellness fair.
Yes.
That's his whole goal. So, all right. So with that being said, I'm not a big card puller. I'll tell you that right ahead, but this is what we got today. Can I get it there?
Yep. There you go.
That look good?
Mm-hmm.
So Queen of Swords. So when you look at this card, first thing I notice, of course, is 3 dragons.
Yeah.
So 3 dragons are one big one to 2 little ones. These are your helpers. These are your pushers. But this is the Queen of Swords. So she's divine. She's all about touching your feminine energy. She's truthful. There is no swaying. So one of the things that Creator's telling me right now is to remember that if you're trying to get something done that isn't in a truthful manner, you need to back away.
Yeah.
Be upfront, be forward, and your goals will be met. Go within, grab that feminine power, men as well, grab your feminine power and push forward with that.
That's a beautiful message. I love it.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank
you.
Can we
do one more?
Yeah, let's do one more.
All right.
I don't know if I like that.
So I liked every once in a while. I don't mind when a card falls out of the deck when I'm shuffling.
Yeah.
The Magician.
Oh.
So let's talk about the Magician. There's several different. I'm sure I'm not going to hit the traditional terminology for the Magician card. I have not even looked it up. It really doesn't matter to me. What it does matter to me is what I feel from when I hold this card. So is there a Jamie in our audience?
There may be. I'm not seeing anybody, but if there's a Jamie or if that resonates with somebody, pop in and let us know.
Yeah. So what I'm feeling is this is for a Jamie. So you're trying to transform. You're trying to become someone who you truly want to be, but right now you feel like you're not there. Take the time, do the research, go inside. This is about magic. It's about, to me, it's about magic. It's about transformation. It's about creation. So just go ahead and, step back and take a second and recheck, because what you're trying to create isn't where you're going.
Beautiful. Well, my love, I will see you tomorrow. I'm so glad that you joined us. Thank you. I'm looking forward to seeing you and Danny tomorrow.
Sounds
great. To the viewers, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you will check out Soul and Synergy, check out Metapara Pro. You guys will love it. Check out their venues. You will not be sorry. We will see you next week on Chat with Charlie.
Bye, everyone.